What's up, everybody? It's Brandon Locarian here, and today I'm talking about Airbnb. Now, I will preface this by saying I'm not an Airbnb expert. This is my experience, like hopping on Airbnb for the first time as a host. So I kind of want to talk you guys through about what we did in our space and like really how it came about. So we've been thinking about like how to maximize cash flow with our properties and figuring out different ways. And I genuinely didn't want anyone like living with us full time, and I just don't like that feel. And I just want privacy, right? Like that's how I am. And so we have in our house, like we have a corner lot first of all, and we have an in-law suite. So this in-law suite has a path out to its really own designated parking area, like it's like a separate side entrance, and also its own parking lot, its own parking space. There's 2 parking spaces there, and essentially like there was a path and the fence like in our backyard you can walk through and like you can get to that parking spot, but I wanted more privacy, right? Because I don't like living with people. I don't like that feeling, but I wanted it to be like private for us, like mainly because we have young kids, we've got dogs. I don't want my dog barking at you when you come check in and whatnot. So what we did was we installed a fence just to give us some privacy and give our guests some privacy. So I built out this fence, and I did all the work myself, and a couple of friends helped me out with some of the heavier things, and we like landscaped it so beautifully. Like that's the thing too I want to say is like with Airbnb, you want to kind of draw the people in from like an emotional perspective, right? You want it to feel like magical. You want it to feel like, man, like there's no other place I could get this feeling or this experience other than this spot, right? This host Airbnb, right? And you guys can tell I'm excited about this, but it's like you want to draw them in. So like we landscaped it beautifully. I thought about everything. I didn't want water sitting on the property, so you got to think about the things that you don't normally think about. For a regular rental, you have to think of it as like another layer or higher echelon, like hotel status. Like think about some of the best hotels you've stayed in, and like what was the experience like? Because you are essentially creating an experience for your guests. And that's the other thing too. They're called guests. They're not called, tenants or whatever. But like you want to create that experience for your guests as well, like where they feel welcome and they feel like, like whatever, whether you're doing glamping or camping or like a cabin and somewhere, you want to create that feel for them. So our Airbnb is called George Washington Studio because we are. Like if you look out on our main road, you can see George Washington's house. You can see his front lawn. And we wanted to kind of play into that because we were like, okay, people are going to be searching for places to stay around here. Like they're going to want to go to DC Cherry Blossom, whatever, right? And we wanted to create that. So we brought in some older elements of like the modern as well as the traditional and layered that in our space to really create a warm, cozy, homey feel that's also clean and not cluttered. So that's why we call it George Washington Studio, and we also added some elements from George Washington like type era, as well as like some photos and books and stuff like that. So we wanted them to feel like they were visiting George Washington's studio if he had one. So again, like so going back to the outside, you want to draw them in, you want to pull people in, you want to make them feel like, okay, this is magical. And we're like, this is a cool experience. So outside we have a fire pit. We have a little bistro table, like because you can only fit like 2 people in our Airbnb, so it sleeps 2, and it's been really cool. Like so when you walk in, like there's a laundry, there's sort of like an entrance area, full bathroom, and then opens up to the full kitchen, full functioning kitchen, and as well as like a studio area where we set up TV above like a fake fireplace that we found on Facebook Marketplace, and like it's set up really beautifully and just cozy and sort of romantic. And one of the things I want to add too is like you want to think about the things that you don't normally use but you wish you had when you're at a hotel, right? So do you need a steamer? Do you need a hanger for your clothes, like because like you need to hang up a suit, right? Or like a dress or whatever it may be. But you want to think about that and like, like, okay, they need a place to hang stuff. Great. Okay. What about, my wife thought about this, but like makeup towels, like, cause if you're wiping makeup off your face, like you can't use like white towels. Like, I didn't think about that, but she did. Right. So we had to get specific makeup towels. And we got like all white linens and all white towels, because like that's again like that hotel feel, that clean feel. Like that's the other thing, is you want people to feel like it's a clean space, everything is crisp and very like just like really really clean. And just clean always will go further than if you were to update and it be dirty. Like that's what, whether you're selling, whether you're renting to a regular tenant or you're hosting on Airbnb, like cleanliness will get you a negative review. So we started this in December of 2023, and our place is set up beautifully. We have all the things that you would want or need. Like we've even got like a potato peeler. We've even got like a mixer if you want to bake a cake, or we have coffee. That's the other thing too, is like adding a coffee station is a hit, like because people don't want to leave. Like sometimes people just want to chill. Like in our very first guest, like they just chilled at New Year's like weekend at the property. Like they didn't leave, I don't think. We left, but like it's like we didn't leave, and they didn't leave, and it's like, okay, well that's fine. And that's what people want to do sometimes. They just want to stay at home, or like staycation kind of thing. And but you want to have coffee, you want to have like some snacks. Like that's the other thing I learned, is like having some snacks like is really cool. Because again, like what do you like to do in your home? Munch, watch Netflix or whatever you might do. I don't watch TV, but so I don't know. But maybe you want some popcorn if you're doing a movie, right? Like so, and then because we have a fire pit, like we thought about little things like, oh, well, we should create s'mores kits. So then we created s'mores kits. And you want very detailed instructions. That's the next thing, is like, that's what I learned, is like outlining every single thing detail by detail, and almost having like a manual online, whether you message it to them or text it to them. That's really helpful for their stay, because like they might not know how to work the fire pit, or light a fire pit. So like if you leave instructions as well as fire starters that are easy, like I can start a fire without fire starters, but someone else might not be able to. So you want to think about those things, and think about the little things that that you won't normally need, but you wish you had if you're staying at a hotel. It's so like just thinking about that. And then the other thing I want to, like having detailed instructions for check-in. So one of the things that we did was we took photos at night, because, like it's getting dark earlier, it's winter time. So most people would be checking in at nighttime. So I took pictures at night of what the space looks like, where they check in, where they park, where they, like do all their stuff and they need to, right? And so that is the key, is like having a very streamlined, a very detailed process. If you think it's overkill, it's really not. Like just do it anyways, because it could be helpful to someone that really doesn't know the area or doesn't know what to look out for, because sometimes the addresses, different maps take you different places. So then, like we had very detailed instructions for operating fire pit, operating the heater that's in there, operating, the stove or the oven and microwave or whatever it may be, and telling them where things are, right? Because again, like we have things put away. So telling them where the, iron is, or where the heater is, right? And all these sort of things. So have very detailed instructions. Have very, like, again, if you think you're talking to an idiot, like don't think like that, because like they might not know. They genuinely might be from a different country or something. So yeah. And then we thought about like really just creating like the experience, continued experience. That's the thing, is like you want to communicate with them, ask them how their check-in was, ask them how their how their stay is going, if you could do anything to make it more enjoyable or whatever it may be. So that's what you want to ask them, is like for feedback as they're staying, and they'll feel very very like welcoming and home, right? Like, so if they say like, hey, I wish I had a trash can, and you don't have one, like, well, you should order one and drop one off for them, right? Because it's like, it shows that you care, and it's going to allow you to get a 5-star review later on when they leave. The other thing is really just having just having that, like, recommendations on the areas that they should visit. Because again, you might be dealing with out-of-town guests, so they might be looking to explore. So like you can give them recommendations. So we have auto text set up on Airbnb. Like when they stay, like they could essentially like, they get a text and say like, hey, if you're thinking about exploring the neighborhood, like you should check out this trail, check out that trail. We have like stuff like that just automatically goes out. And Airbnb, the platform itself, really makes it easy for hosts to just hop on there and like just like become a host. Like it's very like it's very, very like easy. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've had fun with this. Like I'm having way more fun than I thought I would, because I'm not normally like, yeah, like let me host a guest kind of thing, right? But like Airbnb makes it super easy to just like host people, and they make the process very streamlined, and they like tell you what to do, what to set up, how to set it up, you know, like, and where to go to set things up. They also pair you. One of the cool things about Airbnb is they pair you with a super host that provides you recommendations, and you could reach out to them for feedback and ask them what they think about your listing. So the whole process from uploading the listing to really like was like maybe 15-20 minutes to upload it, if that. And we had our first booking like 2 days later. To add to that is make sure you have professional photos. Professional photos is so important, you know, like to really hosting on Airbnb, because again, it draws people in. They see that you take the time to get professional photos. It doesn't cost that much money, but it's super helpful. So this has been like our experience so far. Like, again, we've had like 4 bookings. We've had 3 of them like that have, you know, checked in and left, have had like 5-star reviews on all of them. Like, we're on our way to becoming super host. It's been awesome. The other cool trick I learned this past weekend was you could actually change pricing into flexibility, because Airbnb's algorithm is monitoring like when people are coming to town for what events and that kind of thing. So if you turn that on, you could actually potentially make more money. So we have cash flowed about $2,500 in our first month, and we are fully booked through the end of March. Like, praise God, thank God. Like, this has been like a godsend, like super awesome, like to just be able to host people and like just, you know, welcome them, right? Like it's so cool. The other thing I will add is like, you know, have a smart lock so then you can check people in. Recommend Schlag. That was recommended to me by a previous friend, and you could change the code on your phone, and you change it to the last 4 digits of their phone number. So this has been like super cool, and like it's been awesome. Again, like we're cash flowing from it about $2,500 a month, $2,600 a month. Could potentially get up to $3,000 if someone, like, you know, there's a lot of bookings or whatever, but there's been a lot of extended stay people, and we've kind of catered to that in a way. So thank you guys for listening to me. Hit that subscribe button, by the way, and like I would love to, you know, like I'll include the link below in the video so that you guys could go check out my Airbnb and let me, you know, comment yours. I would love to check yours out and like see what you guys are doing and learn about how much money you're making, because like this is a gold mine. Like, I've made $2,500 in the past month, and I really haven't had to do much other than use a space that I wasn't even using in my house anyways. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button below, like, follow, comment, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.